The movie.
That is what you want?
Every Saturday night.
That is what we want.
Guaranteed. On HBO.
The following is a special presentation of HBO Sports.
There was a time when fighters attended news conferences to smile for the cameras, sign a contract, shake their opponent's hands, and say nothing more than may the best.
The following is a special presentation of HBO Sports.
There was a time when fighters attended news conferences to smile for the cameras, sign a contract, shake their opponent's hands, and say nothing more than may the best man win.
Oh, wait a second, boys. Where do we get paid for this?
But since the arrival of Muhammad Ali, pre-fight news conferences have never been the same.
Come on, girl. We in Manila. Come on, gorilla. This is a thriller. It's going to be a force.
From ridiculous to sublime, today's news conferences serve an array of purposes. For the promoter, a creative means of generating interest in a fight. For the fighter, a tactical opportunity to intimidate the opponent.
You set it out there, and you're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? We on like popcorn. But you're going to get it.
5 days ago, a news conference was held for the heavyweight fight between Riddick Bowe and Larry Donald. And this form of pre-fight combat reached a new extreme. No one will be holding them back tonight. HBO Sports presents the heavyweight battle between former heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe and the undefeated and highly regarded Larry Donald on World Championship Boxing tonight. It is scheduled for 12 rounds. The small arena in back of Caesar's Palace, but after the hubbub of this week, perhaps this could have been moved to the larger seating arena outdoors because the blackout has been lifted in Las Vegas. A near sellout here tonight, many on hand to see what will happen in the wake of the press conference confrontation. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We suspect that there are many, many among you tonight who would not be watching with us were it not for the events of this past Monday. Riddick Bowe's sudden and shocking attack on Larry Donald at a news conference in Los Angeles to publicize this fight. The left, the right, two shots heard around the boxing world, and they are causing repercussions still. Working with me, as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, Riddick Bowe's attack on Larry Donald was, from a physical standpoint, unprovoked. Why did Bowe do it, and how will it affect him in the ring tonight?
Jim, first I have to say that although they landed on the head, those were the lowest blows by far I have ever seen in boxing. And that's the best thing I have to say about them. Why did he do it? Riddick Bowe has been depressed since he lost the title. He's frustrated that his road back to the title has been blocked. and then he's confronted by a lippy newcomer who won't get out of his face, and bang, spontaneous combustion, which doesn't excuse it at all. So now the question is, as you ask, what effect will it have on him? All I know for sure is that it took 10 years for George Foreman to go from Mr. Nasty to Mr. Great Guy. And it's taken 3 months for Riddick Bowe to take the reverse trip, ever since he knocked down Buster Mathis Jr. and then punched him afterward. Will it affect him in the long run? Maybe, if the fans turn on him. And many reporters expect the fans to turn on him tonight.
Well, some of those reporters have certainly turned on him. If Bowe was curious as to what effect his outburst might have produced, he need look no farther than the New York Post, a newspaper in his own hometown, which suggests that his behavior is that of a low-life punk, that even the boys in the hood in his home neighborhood of Brownsville would treat him with disrespect as a result, that his behavior, his bad behavior, is being masterminded by his manager, Rock Newman. It's a privilege for us to have back with us tonight the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. George, as a boxer, as a professional boxer, what's your opinion of what happened last Monday?
Well, there's always been an invisible line that you never should cross. Riddick Bowe crossed over this time. You don't allow pit bulldogs anywhere, nor do you allow renegade boxers. They can really hurt someone. Riddick Bowe has done something unheard of. We would never do that in this sport. It should never be tolerated, and it should never happen again.
Now, much is being made of the fact that Larry Donald didn't punch back, and there are some people who think that gives Bowe a psychological advantage. There are some people who think that Donald may have gained something psychologically. Who do you think benefited, if anyone, coming into the ring?
If someone does this to you, another boxer do that to you, what can you do but nothing? If you hit him back, if you retaliate, you become what he's already become, a bad person that should not be called a professional boxer. There's no psychological advantage to anyone. Riddick Bowe, he should suffer, and I don't mean physically for this, but he should be remembered that it's not winning or losing, but how you play the game. He's been a bad game player this time.
So you're complimenting Larry Donald for his absence of response.
Whether he wins, lose, or draw tonight, this man will be a champion because he did nothing but back away, which is what a professional fighter should do. Never hit a civilian or in a civilian position.
All right, George, it'll be interesting to see if Larry Donald can solidify the public relations advantage he's gained by winning the fight as well. But it's a tough assignment. Riddick Bowe trying to again become the fighter he was when he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Evander Holyfield back in November of 1992. He's undergone many transformations since then. In the ring, there are two experiences which stand apart from all others: winning the heavyweight championship of the world and losing it. Riddick Bowe encountered both in 12 months. Since his loss to Evander Holyfield, he's learned some hard lessons.
You know, when you're on top, some people have the tendency to take things for granted. And perhaps for the second Holyfield fight, I didn't train like I should have, or I didn't give myself the best opportunity by going to training camp perhaps 3 months in advance of the fight. And so I wasn't in the best shape. But it was a costly experience, but a learning experience.
As champion, Bowe was on everyone's A-list. Endorsements and appearances were abundant. No more. Limited exposure is a consequence of losing.
You don't realize how important those things are to you until they're gone.
The last year was a transition period. He had to become adjusted to not being the champion, which took a bit of doing.
Well, I think people recognize me, you know, wherever I go, but they don't recognize me as the heavyweight champion of the world. It's always former. And I don't like that word former, especially when it's, you know, with my name, Riddick Bowe, the former heavyweight champion of the world.
He began to come around, and right now he, I think, has become so well adjusted that he has regained his focus, the focus that he had on his way up to the title.
A title shot in the foreseeable future is unlikely. With George Foreman and Oliver McCall on top, Bowe ranks well below the next contenders.
I think it's very unfortunate, you know, that the organizations would rate me where they had me. I fought a hard fight against Evander Holyfield. Unfortunately, I didn't get the decision. But I don't think that the fight was so bad where me being champion, I had to be rated number 5, number 7, or even in some organizations not rated at all.
After 9 months out of the ring, BOWE faced Buster Mathis Jr. In the 4th round, he was nearly disqualified for a right uppercut with Mathis down on one knee. It ended in a controversial no contest.
I felt like that was my first professional fight. I was a bit nervous. I was extremely anxious, and I wanted to give a good performance. And I think perhaps maybe that's why when he knelt down to one knee, I was so into it, I didn't realize he was on one knee.
Fitness expert Mackie Shilstone helps BOWE to improve as an athlete. They went their separate ways after Holyfield won, but later Shilstone was called back.
At one point, we felt like we could fight guys that, we really didn't need Mackie for. And so that was a big misunderstanding also. But again, to make a long story short, we realized that, Mackie was the best conditioning guy out there, and that we should also incorporate him back into our training program. And so I had Rock to give him a call, and he's back.
The most I've ever seen him at is 200.